The day my mother's doctor said she might not make it through another winter, my siblings finally called me back, but only after they heard her house might be sold. I was the youngest of four. Growing up, everyone said I was the quiet one, the one who stayed close to home, the one who did what needed to be done without making noise about it. My oldest brother, Daniel, moved 3 hours away after college and built a clean, comfortable life with his wife and kids. My sister, Melissa, lived across town, but acted like 10 minutes of traffic was the same as crossing an ocean. And my other brother, Aaron, always had a reason why he could not show up. Work was busy. His back hurt. His car needed repairs. His phone was dying. There was always something. My mother used to defend them. She would sit at the kitchen table, wrapped in the same blue cardigan she wore every morning, and say, "They have their own lives." I used to nod, even when I wanted to ask, "And what about mine?" Before she got sick, our family looked normal from the outside. We had birthday dinners, group photos, holiday visits, and polite little conversations in the living room. My siblings would come over, hug mom, eat the food she cooked, talk about their jobs, then leave before dishes were done. I never noticed how uneven everything was back then. Or maybe I noticed and just kept ignoring it. Then mom started forgetting small things. At first, it was harmless. She would leave her glasses in the fridge. She would call me twice to ask what time I was coming over. She would start making tea, then walk away before turning off the stove. I told my siblings. Daniel said, "Keep us updated." Melissa said, "Maybe she just needs vitamins." Aaron didn't reply for 2 days, then sent a thumbs up emoji. That was the first time something inside me felt off. Not anger yet, just a heavy feeling. Like I had stepped onto a road I didn't choose, and everyone else had already moved out of the way. A few months later, the doctor said the word none of us wanted to hear: dementia. Mom sat next to me in the clinic, staring at the floor, twisting the strap of her handbag around her fingers. She looked small in a way I had never seen before. I texted the family group chat before driving her home. No one called. Daniel reacted with a sad face. Melissa wrote, "That's awful." Aaron wrote, "Let me know what you need." So I told them what I needed. I needed help with appointments. I needed someone to stay with her on weekends. I needed someone to check her medication. I needed someone to sit with her so I could sleep more than 4 hours. The chat went quiet. And that silence became the loudest answer they ever gave me. For the next 2 years, my life became my mother's life. I moved back into her house because she could no longer be alone. I gave up my apartment, sold half my furniture, and changed my work schedule to remote when possible. Every morning started the same. I helped her wash up. I made soft food because swallowing became hard. I labeled drawers. I hid the stove knobs. I put alarms on doors because she started wandering at night. Some nights she would stand in the hallway at 3 a.m., confused and scared, asking where her mother was. Some nights she didn't know who I was. And some mornings, she would look at me clearly for a few seconds and say my name with so much relief that it broke me all over again. My siblings visited at first. Not often, but enough to say they were involved. Daniel came once every 2 months with his kids. He would stand in the doorway, uncomfortable, like sickness was something that might stick to his clothes. Melissa came when she needed something from the old house, like a photo album or one of Mom's serving dishes. Aaron came when he needed money. Mom would brighten when she saw them. Even when she forgot their names, her face softened around them. That was the part that hurt the most. She missed people who were barely there, and I was right in front of her, disappearing one day at a time. The first emotional hit came on her birthday. I planned a small dinner. Nothing fancy, just soup, cake, and the family around the table. I messaged everyone 2 weeks before. Daniel said he would try. Melissa said she had a work thing. Aaron said he might come after 6. That day, I cleaned the house, changed Mom into her favorite blouse, and curled her hair the way she liked. She kept asking if the kids were coming. I said yes because I thought at least one of them would. By 7, no one had shown up. By 8, Mom was too tired to sit up. The cake stayed untouched on the counter. At 8:17, Melissa sent a message. Sorry, crazy day. Tell mom happy birthday. Daniel sent flowers the next afternoon. Aaron never mentioned it. Mom forgot by the next morning. I didn't. After that, I stopped expecting them. I still updated them because it felt wrong not to, but I stopped writing long messages. I stopped begging. When mom fell in the bathroom and I spent 11 hours in the emergency room with her, I sent one photo of the hospital bracelet. Daniel wrote, "Keep us posted." Melissa asked, "Is she okay?" Aaron asked if I could call him later because he had something to ask me. Something about that night changed me. Not all at once. Quietly. I started keeping records. Every appointment, every prescription, every bill I paid, every message I sent, every visit they missed. I didn't know why at first. Maybe I needed proof for myself that I wasn't imagining how alone I was. Then one afternoon, mom's doctor pulled me aside after an appointment. He told me her care needs were increasing. He said we needed to discuss long-term options, more support, more equipment, maybe nursing care soon. I sat in my car afterward with the folder on my lap, unable to move. The house was old, but it was paid off. It was the one thing mom had left, and I hated myself for even thinking about selling it. But the bills were growing. The house needed repairs. I was falling behind. So I called Daniel. For once, he answered. I told him we might need to discuss the house and mom's care costs. He was quiet for 2 seconds. Then his voice changed. "What do you mean, discuss the house?" I said. "I mean, we may need to sell it if her care gets more expensive." He said, "You can't just decide that." I almost laughed. 2 years of decisions I had made alone. Medication changes, hospital visits, insurance calls, night wandering, bathing, feeding, cleaning, crying in the laundry room so mom would not see me. And now, suddenly, I could not decide things alone. That was when everything shifted. Within 24 hours, the family group chat came back from the dead. Melissa wrote, "We need a family meeting." Aaron wrote, "Nobody should touch the house yet." Daniel wrote, "Mom would want fairness." Well, fairness. That word sat on my screen like a slap. Not care. Not support. Not how is mom. Not how are you holding up. Fairness. They all came over that Saturday, all three of them, at the same time. For the first time in over a year, the driveway was full. Mom was in her recliner by the window, half asleep, wrapped in a blanket. She looked up when they came in, confused by the noise. Melissa hugged her for too long, like she was performing sadness for an audience. Daniel walked around the house, looking at the walls, the ceiling, the floors. Aaron went straight to the kitchen and opened the fridge. I watched them move through the house like people inspecting something they already thought belonged to them. We sat at the dining table, the same table where I had fed mom soup, sorted pills, filled out forms, and once put my head down after she forgot my name. Daniel started. He said selling the house was too sudden. Melissa said mom always wanted the house to stay in the family. Aaron said we should wait and see. I asked who would help pay for care while we waited. No one answered. I asked who would stay overnight twice a week. Melissa looked away. I asked who would take mom to appointments. Daniel said he lived too far. I asked who would cover the next medical bill. Aaron said money was tight. Then Daniel said something I will never forget. He said, "You chose to live here." The room went still. I looked at him, waiting for him to take it back. He didn't, he said. "Nobody forced you. You moved in. You had access to the house. You probably saved money not paying rent." For a second, I could not speak. I had given up my apartment, my sleep, my weekends, my privacy. My body felt older than it should have. I had sat beside our mother while she cried because she didn't recognize her own reflection, and he made it sound like I had been getting a free place to stay. Melissa didn't defend me. Aaron stared at the table. That was the moment I understood. They hadn't stayed away because they were busy. They stayed away because I made it easy for them. As long as I kept handling everything, they could feel comfortable. But the second the house was mentioned, they suddenly had opinions, memories, and rights. The meeting ended badly. Daniel said we needed a lawyer before making any decisions. Melissa said I was being emotional. Aaron said I was trying to control everything. I walked upstairs before I said something I could not take back. That night, while Mom slept, I opened every folder I had kept: receipts, doctor notes, texts, emails, care schedules, photos of medication charts, emergency room discharge papers, messages where I asked for help and got nothing. For the first time, those records did not feel like sadness. They felt like protection. A week later, we met with an elder care attorney. My siblings came dressed like they were going to court. Daniel had printed property estimates. Melissa had a notebook. Aaron looked annoyed before anyone even spoke. The attorney asked about Mom's care. I gave him the folder. He went through the documents slowly. Then he asked my siblings a simple question: what care responsibilities have each of you handled in the past 2 years? The silence was painful. Daniel started talking about living far away. Melissa mentioned being busy with work. Aaron said he visited when he could. The attorney asked for dates. No one had them. Then he asked about financial contributions. I handed over my receipts. They had none. The room changed after that. Not dramatically, no yelling, no grand speech, just a quiet shift. The kind where people realize the story they plan to tell does not match the paper in front of them. The biggest reveal came when the attorney pulled out Mom's updated documents. Mom had changed them a year earlier, during one of her clearer periods, with her doctor confirming she understood what she was signing. She had made me her primary decision maker, and she had written a note in her own shaky handwriting. It said that the house should be used first for her care, and if anything remained later, it should be divided after accounting for the person who cared for her. I stared at that note until the words blurred. I didn't know she had done that. She had never told me. Maybe she forgot. Maybe she didn't want another fight. Maybe during one of those rare, clear days, she saw more than I thought she did. Melissa started crying, but it didn't feel like grief. Daniel got red in the face and said Mom must have been influenced. Aaron muttered that this was messed up. The attorney calmly explained the timeline, the medical confirmation, and the legal process. There was nothing for them to grab. Not yet. Not before Mom's care. Not before the debts. Not before the situation they had avoided. After that meeting, everything cracked. Daniel stopped texting me except through short, cold messages. Melissa sent a long paragraph saying she felt pushed out, even though she had stepped away on her own. Aaron called me selfish. I didn't argue. I was too tired. The house was eventually sold months later. Not fast, not secretly, not behind anyone's back. Everything went through the proper channels. Most of the money went into Mom's care: a clean facility with trained staff, a safe room, regular support. People who knew what to do when she became scared or confused. The first night she stayed there, I sat in my car and cried until my face hurt. Not because I felt free, because I didn't know who I was without being needed every minute. For weeks, I visited every day, then every other day, then enough to still be there, but not vanish inside it. My siblings visited once after she moved in. Daniel stayed 20 minutes. Melissa took a photo with Mom and posted it. Aaron asked me afterward if there would be anything left. That was the last time I answered one of his calls. Mom declined slowly. There were no dramatic final conversations, no perfect apology, no clean family reunion, just quiet afternoons, soft blankets, half-finished meals, and moments where she squeezed my hand without knowing my name. When she passed, my siblings came to the service and acted like grief had made us equal. It had not. Grief was not the same as care. Showing up at the end was not the same as staying through the hard parts. After everything was settled, there was very little money left. Daniel was angry. Melissa said the whole thing had divided the family. Aaron said I had ruined what Mom built. I told them the house did exactly what it was supposed to do. It took care of her when her children would not. I don't speak to my siblings much now. Sometimes that hurts. Sometimes it feels peaceful. I still think about Mom's blue cardigan, her teacups, the way she used to hum while folding towels. I think about all the nights I resented being the only one there. And then I think about the fact that when she reached for someone in the dark, my hand was the one she found. In the end, they came back for the house, but I was the one who stayed for her.